Hello! So today we are at Wycombe Air Park once again in the Cessna 152 in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we're going to be taking a look at doing some crosswind landings and looking at the two basic techniques for doing a crosswind landing. There's the crabbing technique, which you can do in quite safely in a 152, and then there is the sideslip technique. So rather than describe them, I'll demonstrate them. Or attempt to demonstrate them. So we're going to go and get in the 152 and take it for a flight. Now, to save time in the video, I'm going to go and pause the video, fly around onto the approach, and then when I'm on the approach I'll unpause the video and we'll see how we get on with the various approaches, because then I'll be flying several laps doing the different kinds of approach. So it will save you an awful lot of time. So I'm just going to pause the video and I'll see you back in a moment. Okay, so we are on the, just coming round over the industrial estate onto runway 24 at Wycombe. We've got a crosswind coming from the left, 10 knots perpendicular to the runway. So the first landing approach we're going to do, we're a little bit high at the moment. First approach we're going to do, there we go, just looking at the VASI lights. You can't really trust them in Flight Simulator, they're not wonderfully accurate, but the first approach we're going to do is the crabbing technique. So the idea is you point into the wind to maintain your direction along the runway. You fight with the turbulence around here because it's pretty wicked, and I've got the turbulence on realistic. Yeah, so you maintain your crab angle to stay on the centre line. Interesting that we've just come out of the turbulence there, which is kind of odd. So we've gone a little bit too much this way. Look at the aeroplane being pushed to the right. So we maintain a crab angle to come down towards the runway. And then at the last moment we're going to straighten the aircraft up. So we come back to idle over the runway. We're crabbing, 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 and then turn the aeroplane towards the right direction and hold it. Okay, so I'm going to now go and do another circuit. We'll have another go at that, see if I can do it better the second time, and I'll catch up with you in a moment. Okay, we're back on approach into Wycombe again, so this is crabbing again, 10 knots from the left, so we're approaching the centre line. There's a fair amount of turbulence just this part of the approach. We're too low looking at the VASI lights, so that's because we got too slow, so we're increasing throttle. Back in the right place now on our vertical positioning. We're coming onto the centre line. Now we're too high. Now we're correct again. So again, it's just, you feel it as you go basically. We're being pushed right, as you can see at the moment, and we're being hit by turbulence from the road, which is great, and we've gone high again. Okay, so we crab across the runway, let the speed bleed off, and as we're about to fall, we turn to face the runway direction now. And it avoids the aeroplane going sideways across the runway because we've matched the runway direction at the last moment. Okay, so now we're going to have a go at the sideslip technique. So I'm going to do another lap, and we'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're coming in for a sideslip approach this time. So what we do is line up the nose on the runway using the rudder. And we hold the plane the same direction as the runway, and we sideslip the aeroplane by lowering the left aileron to go left or raising it to go right. So we're holding the plane the same direction as the runway, even though we have a 10 knot wind from the left. So we're holding the left aileron down to maintain our horizontal position. So we're a bit high. We should be able to maintain this all the way in. It helps if you continue to have thrust over the tail. You can't really idle doing this technique. Not easily anyway. But you should be able to fly down onto the runway. There we go. So I'm struggling to hold exactly the right amount of rudder because I've only got a twist stick. I haven't got rudder pedals, so it's not as accurate as rudder pedals would be. So the important difference there doing a side slip technique is you point in the direction of the runway throughout. Okay, so I'm going to pause it and I'll go around again. Okay, we're approaching again. Same place, just turning from base off of over the industrial estate towards finals, and we're descending gently, and we're going to get straight onto the runway direction and then turn the rudder, or put a lot of right rudder in to point in the same direction as the runway, even though we are still crabbing technically. So we're holding left wing down while holding right rudder. So this is what they call cross controls. So we're doing the opposites: right rudder, left wing down. You have to be aware that you are going to induce a lot more drag doing this, so you need to use more throttle. We're a bit high, just descending. Whoa, that turbulence catches me every time just there. So again, we're using left wing up or down to control our position left or right without changing the direction of the nose. Okay. So hopefully that's been useful. So the whole thing there, the whole cross control thing, is you're using, in this case we were doing right rudder and left aileron down, and using the bank of the aeroplane to travel left or right, while using the rudder to keep pointing out the runway. Okay. It's quite stressful doing that, especially with all the turbulence we were seeing. It's probably easier to do this at an airfield where there isn't so much built up area on the approach, because then you won't get the turbulence kicking you all over the place. Okay, I'm going to stop the video there. Hopefully that was useful to you, and I'll see you all again soon.